Hi, everybody. Welcome on a sunny Friday afternoon here in the Netherlands. Welcome to another episode of the ACSS news broadcast on sanctions against Russia. We're trying to make sense of the latest news on sanctions, and we will guide you through what's happening in the world of sanctions against Russia and why it matters for your business. My name is Saskia Rietbroek, and I'm the Executive Director of the Association of Certified Sanctions Specialists. Please visit our website at sanctionsassociation.org and become a member today. So, the news on Russia sanctions, I'm covering, as you know, the people who have been following this broadcast for the last couple of weeks, I'm covering EU, US, and the UK. And not much new going on in terms of new sanctions. I saw one update that the UK updated one of its licenses. This was related to clearing transactions in pound sterling for Sberbank. This is the largest Russian bank that was sanctioned earlier this month on March 1 by the UK for telling that it can no longer have correspondent banking relationships and can no longer clear pound sterling payments. So this license has been amended. It's still in effect until March 31st, so the deadline hasn't changed. I checked the OFAC website. I didn't see any new sanctions in the US coming out today, and also no new sanctions issued by the European Union today. One thing that I did want to mention is that yesterday, and I personally did not attend, but yesterday the UK regulator had a webinar of 2 hours with, I heard, 6,000 listeners. Great initiative. A bunch of people from the UK government, OFSI, and other agency were on the line answering all kinds of questions from the audience. And I think this is really, it's so important, right, to have that, those tools and those outreach opportunities available for people in the business communities in your country. I heard, I spoke to some of our members here at ACSS that did attend, and they said it was really great. They were very professional and knowledgeable about answering questions. People could submit questions in the chat, and they could also submit them in advance. So great job. Well done, OFSI and other UK regulators. Kudos to you. I haven't seen the recording. I'm waiting to get a link. So once we have that link, we'll certainly share that with the listeners as well. If you want to, I also heard there's another webinar coming up from the UK regulators, in this case, the Export Control Joint Unit, the ECJU. They announced that they're going to do a webinar on March 24, where you can ask questions on the impact of, for instance, licenses and other sanctions-related issues. So March 24, a webinar organized by the Export Control Joint Unit. And so this is great. They also have a hotline, by the way. I heard that they have this hotline where you can call them for questions for your business, like what to do when you want to export to a certain market, figure out if something is prohibited or not, any paperwork you need to do to sell your goods, and any specific rules that you need to follow. So you can ask your questions by phone. You can and if you don't know the answer, if they don't know the answer, they say that they will contact you within 3 working days. So, and this hotline is even open in the weekends from 8 a.m. to 10 p.m. So this is really good. And the link is, we're going to post them. I cannot post them right here in the chat due to technical reasons. For some reason, this system does not allow me to post messages in the chat, but I will do that on LinkedIn after this call. So that was great in terms of outreach opportunities and ways for the business community to find more answers. This is very, very, very important. The US has also been, by the way, the EU, they're silent. They're not, and And I know they leave it to the member states, right, to implement the sanctions and issue guidance, but it would be great to have some sort of FAQ coming out when they announce a fourth, fifth, whatever package of sanctions. There must be some questions, right, that they can answer in advance. But I haven't seen that, unfortunately. The US has also been great in posting FAQs, frequently asked questions, the moment they issue an executive director. So executive director issued, FAQs posted on the OFAC website. So this is also very helpful in terms of guidance. And one particular useful piece of guidance that came out from the US this week was on March 16. So that was Wednesday. The Financial Crimes Enforcement Network issued an alert on red flags related to sanctions evasion by Russian elites, in particular on the related to the sector of real estate, art, and jewelry. So FinCEN is the US Financial Intelligence Unit. It's part of Treasury, and they administer the anti-money laundering laws and the suspicious activity reports, right? That's those reports you send to FinCEN. And this is not the first alert that they issued related to sanctions evasion by Russian sanctioned individuals or entities. The second one, they already issued a previous guidance note. I think it was on March 7. And this was also had some good red flags. So this time, the red flags that they included in this new alert that came out on Wednesday underscore the importance of reporting suspicious transactions by financial institutions, right? Those institutions covered by the US Bank Secrecy Act that are involved in real estate, luxury goods, and other high-value assets. The document provides some red flags to assist financial institutions covered by the BSA to identify these suspicious transactions. And it reminds them, of course, of their obligation to report these issues. So the first industry that they covered was real estate. So sanctioned Russians may try to evade sanctions through the purchase and sale of nice properties, right? Commercial properties or high-end residential real estate. And of course, for those of you working in the AML field, real estate has always been an attractive vehicle, right, for storing wealth or laundering dirty money. It's high value, and especially now it has a great potential for appreciation, right, because the housing market is crazy. And you can hide a property's ultimate beneficial owner by using companies as the owner of the house or the property. So FinCEN underscores in this guidance that sanctioned Russian elites and their family members and their close associates may buy or have real estate through shell companies or trusts, possibly using funds or assets held in offshore jurisdictions, and may also try to liquidate real estate owned in countries with sanctions against Russia. So that was real estate. That was the first industry that was covered in this guidance note. They also cover art. So they came up with a couple of red flags related to the art industry. Art, high-value art, is also great, of course, to store value, including by sanctioned Russian elites. They can use, again, shell companies, intermediaries to buy art and hide their money. One particular feature of art makes it very attractive to hide dirty money and sanctions evasion. It's the subjective value, right, of art. So a painting can be worth to somebody €1 million or dollars, whereas to another person is worth 10 million. So this subjective value makes it further very attractive and very, very vulnerable to money laundering and sanctions evasion. And then one more industry was covered also in this guidance. It was precious metals and jewelry. So here you can think of gold, right? Diamonds. And this guidance stresses that precious metal dealers are advised that sanctioned Russian elites and their family members and proxies may try to use this industry to evade sanctions. Why? Because gold, diamonds, they are also highly valuable, right? They're worth a lot. They are portable, right? It's easy to put them in a suitcase, and they are, of course, a super practical replacement for hard cash. So this makes them also very attractive for hiding illicit wealth and for sanctions evasion. An interesting side note here, I'm trying to connect the dots here, is that Russia is a major exporter of diamonds and golds. And a couple of weeks ago, on February 24, the US sanctioned a huge Russian diamond mine, a company called Alrosa, and its oligarch CEO, Sergei Ivanov. They were not placed on the asset freezing list, but the sanctions of Alrosa and the CEO, they were so-called debt and new equity sanctions, so not full-blown blocking sanctions on Alrosa. It was not placed on the so-called game over list, the SDN list. But until 1 week ago, right? Because they were not placed on the list, but President Biden issued an executive order on exactly 1 week ago now, on March 11, that prohibited the import of diamonds into the United States. So anyway, trying to connect the dots here, this guidance notice was very useful. And I hope, and the UK has been also very helpful in providing guidance for the industry. And I hope that the EU will step up and do something similar. Before we wrap up, we have a few more minutes left. Just one thing of, what may be coming down the line. You may have seen in the news that my country, the Netherlands, has been pushing for new sanctions that will clamp down on the use of shell companies by wealthy Russians. And the Dutch government has been, pushing for restrictions on the use of trust offices that provide services to set up these shell companies and all kinds of corporate structures. So I think this would be a great initiative. This would make it harder for Russian companies and their owners to set up and have these structures in the European Union. So the Dutch have been pushing for a EU-wide ban, and they also have started to prepare legislation at the national level in the Netherlands. I'm trying to get a hold of this proposal. If anybody has it, then please send it to me. I would like to cover it in more detail. So why is the Netherlands taking the lead here, right? We're a small country, but many of these trust companies that set up these structures are located in the Netherlands, and they manage money of the Russian government and wealthy Russians. So it's definitely a warning sign for if you are a lawyer in the Netherlands. You have to be very careful when doing business with clients from Russia. Of course, there will be efforts to evade sanctions and hide behind these corporate structures. And they may call on their lawyers to help them set up these structures. You can think of transfer of interest, or, for instance, disconnection of subsidiaries with certain sanctioned companies. Exchanging board members, diversion of money flows. And this is not allowed to circumvent sanctions. The rules are very clear. As a lawyer, you cannot be involved in these legal activities. So, for instance, Abramovich, the owner of the Chelsea Football Club, I understand that he has placed his interest in a foundation or a trust. So I'm sure that other sanctioned entities or persons will do the same. So, and these types of moves are done, with the involvement of a lawyer. So, red flag here for lawyers: be careful when you are involved in these activities. So this was it for today. I'm very thankful for those of you who are joining today's session. And on a Friday afternoon, you're really sanctions enthusiast then to be with us here today. So let's see if there is a question. I do see the questions in the chat box. I cannot answer them in the chat, but I do see them. So let's take a look if there's any questions here. I see some people saying hi. There's sometimes a little bit of a delay, so I just give it one more minute. And we do these broadcasts every day at 5 p.m. Next week I'm traveling. I'm gonna see if I will have access to internet where I am, and I will do them if possible. But I'll keep you posted. I'll definitely do one on Monday, and then I'll keep you posted on what's gonna be happening with the broadcast for the rest of the week. I see somebody's asking a question. Mathieu, thank you so much for your question. It says the EU Commission is already working on a 5th package of sanctions. I have no information on that yet. I will start asking around. Thank you very much for the heads up. Like I said, maybe it has something to do with what the Dutch are proposing related to the trust companies, but I don't know. Okay. So I will certainly cover this next week. Hopefully we heard something then. And in the meantime, wishing you all very good luck with the implementation of the 4th package and the other sanctions issued by the US and the UK. So wish you all a nice weekend and see you next Monday. Bye-bye.